and I also help out on the Quality of Life Committee. Um, and
I'm Jill Goodkind, and I'm a member of Quality of Life Committee and filling in right now as co-chair.
so because the licensing committee has so much stuff and, we need a little bit more time, the Quality of Life Committee is gracious enough to let us have some of their time so we can get through some of this stuff. Let's begin with, we're gonna begin with the outdoor dining issues. And I want to preface it by, most of you know that this is the first time for all of us. We're learning how to do this. So this is the first step. So we're gonna make a lot of mistakes. We're gonna ask a lot of questions, and it's gonna be a lot of back and forth. And, as government works, they do a lot of stuff that we don't know. They don't consult with us because there's things that we as a community would like to have input for, and we don't. So you get stuck in the middle in terms of whatever the issue is, but we try to move it along and make everybody happy because the administration and the SLA is interested in having small businesses open and thrive. So with that said, let's begin with 31. Walker is here for a sidewalk cafe.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Benny Ramos from the regional general manager for Añejo. We have 2 locations. One here in downtown, one at Hell's Kitchen in Philadelphia, which is a nightmare for these things. So thank everyone that all goes there. Yeah, so just applying for the sidewalk permit. We were approved prior to this, prior to the pandemic. They've been approved for the roadways, but we just decided best just to do this sidewalk cafe.
Could you go back to the hours? Because we're gonna have a new form because we get a little confused because those are the business hours and they're different from the serving hours. So just because it says 1 a.m., you can't serve alcohol.
We
Out
don't,
there.
we don't send anybody even past 10 PM outside.
Right.
Even on the weekends, because the dining room closes, our last seating is at 11 PM. And in order to shut things down, and as it gets later, we don't want our guests outside, because as the night goes on, yeah.
Okay,
The more
so,
fun,
and
right.
we're gonna have that in the stipulation. that-
Yes, and then on Sunday, we close that even earlier, 8 PM, so Sunday's an earlier day for it.
Okay,
So our restaurant generally, 1 o'clock is late for the entire restaurant to be open. Trentback it's an early neighborhood, so we don't push the bar.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You don't.
Yeah, no, we don't, yeah, trust me, enough is enough. When we call it, everybody's done eating. If there's nobody in the restaurant, we close,
Okay, another question I have is, about the, capacity, your inside capacity versus, now you're asking for an additional 16 seats outside.
Yes, ma'am.
And what do you have inside?
75 on the main floor and 50 in the lower,
75 and 15?
50.
50.
Yes, ma'am.
And how many bathrooms do you have?
We have 3.
And
One upstairs, which is the handicap, and then 2 downstairs on the lower level.
the upstairs one is the handicap?
Well, it's closest to the front door.
Street level, is that street level when it's there?
Well, we have the street level, we're not allowed to put the ramp, but we have wheelchair access, we have a ramp available. We have a placard outside that says, please call for assistance, and anybody who needs a ramp, we place the ramp. We that pass with the, because it would be too long to build a ramp,
Mm-hmm.
to have a long enough run. So they said just having that ramp that puts in there and having our phone number placed on all of the entrances. And then we also have the signs inside saying which handicap tables are handicap tables and where the handicap bathroom is, as well as having the countertop lowered in addition to having the piping insulated.
Okay, Okay, the diagram looks like there's a lot of space, but there's one, could you put the diagram? Now, is there enough space between those two, the tables that are back?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, because she took away from the Siamese pipe there.
Okay, and it looks like there's a lot of space on the outside, so.
Yeah, but it's tighter. The barrier actually is flush with the table. And then on the inside is where they serve.
Oh,
So there's not a space.
So if
that's, so that,
Either side, there's enough space for the server too. So
if you go to the picture of in
yeah,
the,
you'll see the barrier flush with the table.
yeah, the top,
oh, okay,
how do people get in there?
There's like, there's small, where the shrubs are, there's like a small wood foot in between the barriers. That was probably closed. It looks a little rainy. So they close the barriers, but they just slide up open entrances between the tables. And on the opposite side near the shrubs, they just push that one tree forward. So it gives you access that way.
so this structure right there, that was your roadbed.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not gonna.
No, we're not gonna do roadway. It's,
Are you gonna have any umbrellas or is it just,
we do have umbrellas on the sidewalk, that are, I mean, they're all weighted and locked down. If that's not allowed to shoot, I mean, we
Oh, no.
work around it.
Mm.
But that
as
section.
long as there's no obstruction in the,
No, there's not very big umbrellas, and it's weird because that part of the sidewalk in Tribeca, there's only like a good hour that the sun actually hits the sidewalk there. And that tends to be a bit of a breezy neighborhood, as everybody who lives in Tribeca knows, so. Most of the time, we're taking the umbrellas down, and those umbrellas maybe are out for, an hour or two a day.
Okay.
So with the servers serving on the other side of the barrier, how much,
There's a good 2 feet, because there's like indents, so you see how there's 2 staircases?
So where are you looking at?
oh, I see this.
Yeah, so there's
This
it's
there.
indented, yeah, so like in between,
That's
like,
the one entrance.
that's one entrance, yes, and then right on the opposite side of that column is the main entrance, where the 2,
Here?
where the 2 flower pots are, in between those 2 flower pots is the main entrance.
Oh, okay. You get to see.
Yeah, I'm asking because where the servers are required to serve counts as part of the space, and so
That's an old piece.
distance,
So, yeah.
yeah, okay. But the distance won't be to this barrier, it would be to where the server would need to stand.
Whichever you prefer, would you prefer them to be on the outside of the barrier or the inside?
No. You prefer not. They're not supposed to be on the.
No, I mean, towards, because I
You
put
have
the
to-
table
you have to
flush
serve
with the
inside.
barrier to create more room on the inside,
Yes.
or I could move the tables more towards the inside where they would be walking and then have them squeeze.
So the barriers would ideally like prevent people walking on the sidewalk from getting in the way of the servers, so there isn't any kind of collision. So if the server is on the inside of the barrier where the tables are, that would make it easier overall, ideally.
So in between the table and the barrier.
Whichever
Is that
version you want.
That's what I'm remembering from.
Yeah, I
What
think
they normally do is the barrier's there, and we have,
you're saying, should tables be here or
we'll,
tables be
we'll
here?
turn those tables, since that's an older picture, we'll turn those tables.
You're saying, okay.
And they'll be on the inside, like more towards the stair. Because there's enough, area there. Just so that one is-
Between the wall of the building or
Yes,
where the
ma'am.
woman is?
Yeah, because there's like an indent there.
Okay, yeah, I guess so.
It's
That's,
hard to imagine
Yeah.
how they're serving.
Yeah,
Just-
I mean, like the stair, I mean, they take one step up the stair, and then there's kind of like,
They
With a
step
wi-
up the stair?
well, there's like a wall. I mean, it's like a lot of times when people hang out there, they'll sit on the stairs anyway.
They walk along the stair?
No, there's like a small little, I mean, probably like 18 inches.
Yeah.
Where they could scoop, but like where the window is, there's like little seating, like we don't use it as seating, but there's like a large sill, where the window is. And sometimes we put like flowers and things there, so there's room for them.
To, well, not walk on the sill, walk,
No, there's room for them to stand and maneuver.
Okay, I see.
Because they have to walk out there with trays and food and things like that.
Yeah, that's what I want, doing, you don't want them.
Yeah, it's like a
Back.
like a circus act.
Yeah, I might have been mistaken then. But yeah, I get, like, my overall point is just like knowing that the distance between the curb and the serving area is accurate. That's all.
In this drawing, you only show one entrance and you said there's two?
Well, there's only one main entrance. They changed it before I got there years ago, about 8 years ago, they changed the egresses. So they built one egress. Where the other two tables are, but that's not the main entrance. There's actually 4 doorways because it's a landmark building. So there's 3 doors in the front. And then there's one along on 31 Walker.
I don't see that entrance here. I only see one entrance.
But it's not relevant to this.
There's only one entrance that people come and go through them.
Is it the same one that the servers will leave with the food?
Yes. And I can make, I mean, the other door is open, for people to use because it's right next to, so a lot of times what they'll do is we put the bathroom and the handicap sign on the other door, because that's the door we use for the ramp. And when people are outside, they know where to go to the bathroom, so they'll, instead of going to the main door, if they see, they can go right downstairs to the bathroom.
And there's no obstruction to get into the rest.
No, they go right between, there's a big path, I mean, there's 2 small tables there, but there's plenty of room for them to walk through.
Forgot to ask because you're supposed to have, they don't.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
This does not seem controversial, though.
yeah, it looks great.
Okay, and
That's all the
So
question.
the hours are unclear, and we have to nail down the hours.
So it'd be,
What hours do you want?
Monday through Wednesday, the last seating, I don't know if the table would be 9
So,
o'clock.
so just to be clear, SLA says no more people, drinking at the time of, that you put on. So when you say your time here, it's not like the last person to sit will sit at X time, but like they'll be gone at this time.
Is that for the entire restaurant?
No, outside only.
Outside only.
Outside only.
Okay.
So when you're
And
thinking,
what is it?
and midnight is the latest you can do for DOT.
I mean, I don't want to get in trouble if somebody, one night is out there. People, I mean, I guess I should just take away the time and just be safe. But they'll never be out there. So that's. You want to say 11 PM, because that's the last,
This, the committee, I just.
what are you guys feel most comfortable with? I mean, that's fine with me. I mean, like I said, very rarely do we even have a later seating like that, like even for the main dining room. So unless somebody comes in on a summer day and requests to sit outside, which is highly unlikely because a lot of the times once we're done, once that last seating is done, we're locking up the tables. So we're not directing them to outside.
so Sunday is 10 PM.
Does it have to be across the board one time though?
No, I think there should actually be a distinction between weekday and weekend.
I'm just saying Sunday.
No, you just.
Yes, so Monday through Wednesday, I would say 9 o'clock.
9, okay.
Yeah. And then the weekends,
Thursday and Friday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'll take the midnight just in case if people are still waiting to pay out there, but we're not seating anybody after 11 o'clock out there. So that's why it's kind of, I don't know what to commit to on that.
Is it a residential building on top of you?
Yes. So, but like I said, normally we don't sit, that's not it's not bookable online because of your weather conditions, so if we put somebody out there, it's our choice, it's not because they made a reservation, so when it gets later, we don't want to, one, have guests out there unattended late, and then also it extends them from breaking down, so I would say 11 PM would be the latest. And that's just,
So Thursday to Saturday, 11,
yeah,
and Monday to Wednesday, 9,
Sunday to Wednesday.
Sunday
Yeah.
to Wednesday,
Yeah.
9. Okay.
You're
Is it-
open at 11:30.
For brunch on the weekends, yes.
You have
Are we saying you'd be broken down by 11 p.m. or?
Yeah, normally it's just kind of like just where we are, it's not busy, like we're not, you know, we don't put the music loud, we don't have like an after hours, it's when dinner is done and everybody pays their bills, the bar closes, like we don't wait for people to come into the bar, like we're not.
I think we're talking specifically outside, because if you're moving furniture around at 11:30 at night, and third, I mean,
Well, what they do is they just take a wire, and they rope through a lock. So they're not picking up and dragging, we just take a long bike cable, and they run it through the legs, and they lock it to the structure, so there's no.
It doesn't have, that stuff doesn't have to be moved. As long as they have it secured.
Yeah, it's secure, and it also kind of like when we were stacking, it was creating housing for rodents and things like that, because, so by having them set, it was more than, there's nothing for anything to hide on it.
I guess my question is 11 too late? You know,
No, gives them an hour.
And 11's not, I live above a restaurant and it's,
Okay.
11's great.
Yeah,
I mean, they-
on the normal 9:30s, you're normally on our last reservation, on Saturdays, yes. And if people do come in late, we don't, well, the very guys are closing up out there, we like to move them towards the bar, so we hear with the staff, so that's normally not an option for them, yeah, even if they want to. And we just don't want people lingering around the building, we like to kind of know where everybody is.
That's a good thing. Okay, so, you call the question?
Call the question.
second.
Okay.
We can't-
Is there anybody online?
No. There's not nothing.
Well, we can, but we have to.
Oh.
Stop. Are there any abstentions, refusals, denials? Everybody's pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
that's how we're presented to the.
okay,
Okay. Well,
Great,
that's it.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
There you go,
yeah,
good luck, guys, thank you.
Thank
Nice
you.
to meet you.
399 Greenwich.
Mm.
Evening, Rosa Ruiz for the applicant. And thank you so much for being understanding that I wasn't able to be there in person, but the applicant is there in person.
399.
Yep. Great.
Okay, you have anything to hand out? I have one, but they don't have any.
All I have is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It doesn't, it says to bring copies for the committee.
No, I don't think she did that. This, I don't think she did that.
I have one.
Okay.
I was trying to take care of as much as I could remotely.
Oh, I'm posting it. Okay,
Okay, so this is for a, sidewalk.
Yes. Okay. So that's the diagram. The pictures that DOT gave you are old. We're not going to have any roadway. We're going to have 28 seats completely outside with 3 tables on Beach Street, and the majority of the tables are on Greenwich Street.
And it looks very tight.
Yes.
So what, you have 28 seats that you're asking for, and how many inside?
How many inside? Give me 1 second. I'll look at it.
You what? 50.
So inside, there's 50 seats.
Yeah, well,
So
this
an
side,
occupancy of 74.
the outside looks really tight.
So there's always been a sidewalk cafe here.
And if, in the diagram, it's not saying what's not giving us any, distance in terms of what's happening between, because, and just looking at the picture, it looks very tight.
So,
We don't have any idea in terms of, is that a foot, is that an inch, or is it a?
So So the diagram,
Yeah, but we don't have it.
so the diagram just does show the clearance requirements. It's meeting the 8-foot clearance requirements away from the sidewalk, and it's staying away from the tree beds. If you scroll
Right,
back up.
that's not, I mean, in terms of the serving, how do those people, how?
Okay, so the serving is that black line, if you go back up a little bit right there. So you see how it's contained on the inside on the Greenwich Street location, on the Greenwich Street side? You have the service aisle in between, and then it's contained through the line the L-shaped line that's going around the Sidewalk Cafe. And then,
Yeah, but
I don't
those
think,
tables that are, those 4 people that are sitting back to back, it doesn't look like there's a lot of space in between the tables there.
no, it does meet the clearance requirements because he's actually having to give away a lot of tables because of the new rules with Department of Transportation.
Okay, clearance is one thing, but being able to actually serve is a whole nother issue. Yes, you're within the clearance and you're
Mhm.
within the space. But in terms of, it looks like there's too many seats in there for you to have enough space for the servers to get around the people.
So the servers are not going to be obstructing the pedestrian traffic at all. And everything is within contained and it's not tight because he's actually giving away a lot of tables because it's different from how DOT and DCA was.
No,
Outdoor series since 2015.
these right here, right here, and here, and here, and a lot,
Right, but the tables may not be to scale, right? So how many seats did you have in 2015 outside?
So
Forget about the-
28.
on the beach side, we actually had 5 more tables, which we no longer have.
These?
Yes, we had 5 more tables on that side, which we now don't have. And on that side, we did have the same exact amount there. If you see where the black line is, the thick black line on Greenwich, there is a walkway in the middle. They don't have to get in
Yeah,
between the seats.
yeah, but how do these,
From
why
the- from
do
the
you have
side.
enough space in between here?
They would stand at the side of the table and speak to the 4 people that would be there. And there, it's not, the seats don't even touch, it does actually fit to where the tables would be lined up 3 in a row.
So you're saying that all the serving is gonna be done from here?
Exactly.
So pre-COVID, how many seats did you have on the Greenwich side?
Pretty sure, I think there's we had 2, 4, 6. I think,
2, 4, 6.
yeah, I think there's 3 extra on the Greenwich side because they had taken 5 from the beach and then with the measurements figured out how to give us 3 more on the Greenwich.
Got it.
That cleared the measurements, the new measurements for, what they're looking for now. From the bike racks, tree beds and everything else.
It's a good thing that the beach street side is lesser.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
There's
residential side.
there's a whole lot of space over there. And, the Greenwich Street just looks really crowded.
Now, if we can go back to the pictures on the Greenwich Street side, you'll see that sidewalk has more than enough pedestrian flow that everybody
That's
can be able
fine.
to walk through freely.
I'm talking about the inside where the actual serving and people are sitting.
So, are you using these same tables and chairs?
Yes. And if you see how they are, like, they're actually spaced. But they would actually.
So there are a lot more, gonna be a lot more of these than is there.
I think there's an extra, 2
It's the Greenwich.
on each, so there's 4 there, and then there would be the walkway to where the servers would get in between, and there would be another.
Wait, is this the Greenwich side?
Yeah,
There's more, but there's more tables there.
a little bit more.
There's 4, 5, 6 tables there. You're only showing 3.
So you're having twice as many,
Yeah.
the whole thing's filled in.
But,
And you can't put anything on the cellar door.
Right.
No, yes, that would definitely not be.
Can you go back to the diagram, please?
You're like one more row of
Three
single tables.
more tables.
That was, see, now that was my,
Okay, so, but it's just one more set along the building, which there's room for. And then you're talking about three, is there anything dividing the tables from the sidewalk? Like, where the big black line is there a
No.
gantry or
is
anything?
there any particular?
Yep, so we're gonna delineate it and have stanchions up.
Oh, stanchion, okay.
Yes.
That Greenwich side, the sidewalk is extremely wide, it goes,
Well, that's fine, it was just, I'm glad to see the picture, and you just, with you, I mean, and there's a lot of space in the
Yeah.
picture, and then even if you pushed it over a little and added another, there'd still
yes,
be
exactly.
an appropriate, amount of space in between.
Yeah, you're talking about one,
Yes.
two
Yeah,
tables,
just, yeah,
the building line and
yeah,
then three on.
that looks
Fine.
fine. That looks okay. Okay.
You wanna do hours?
Okay, now the hours that are listed are your hours that you're
Yes.
open. Oh, pretty good.
Yes, so just like the gentleman.
They're
before,
fine.
we-
The,
We close it.
everybody, the hours are,
Anybody outside past 11 o'clock, we.
the hours are good. Staff, the hours are okay.
We pretty much don't break it down to 10. Almost every night, that's like, there's just some people that are hanging a little bit, but,
So,
Um,
11 o'clock
Thursday-
outside cut off on that?
So Saturday, Friday and Saturday should be 11.
Yeah,
the
that's
only-
fine. We don't have anybody till midnight ever out.
This is a question sort of slightly.
And Sunday nights is 10 o'clock.
Yes, that's fine.
Kitchen closes at 9, so.
Question slightly outside the scope, just because I know Beach Street has this recurring rodent problem. This is outdoor dining on that block. Anything you can do extra just to make sure it's
Yeah, well, to be
more of a
honest,
request than
it
a,
was brutal.
Yeah.
And it's gotten so much better.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen one in
Yeah.
probably about a year.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's horrible for us, because people are eating, you see them coming out
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
stores. Coffee shop next to us, put their trash out at 6 o'clock, people are having dinner and they're.
Yeah, yeah.
So we do have dumpsters out there like the
Right.
fires, but I have not seen one in probably about a year.
Are you planning on having any umbrellas or any extra stuff?
We have
You
one.
get things done?
We have awnings that, retract, so,
Oh, okay. But that's on the building, it's already. How many bathrooms do you have?
2, but they're just single bathrooms.
Okay.
That's good.
So they only have they would have 78 people, so.
Right.
so, just because the bar, so there's 50 seats, but what's the capacity inside?
70.
74.
Oh, sorry, here you did.
Can you just repeat the hours that you're looking for?
Yes, those are pretty much our exact hours, that's when our kitchen closes.
No, but what hours are you looking for outside?
Um,
So I see Sunday, you wanted 10.
10 and then the.
Yeah, so outside,
Eight.
mhm.
yeah, I would stop, like, we usually stop an hour before we close, because we want to get people paid and get them off, we don't want to rush them. So there's nobody on Sunday past 10 o'clock, and there's nobody outside past 11 o'clock on any of the other nights.
Okay, so Monday through Thursday, 10?
Is 10 and Friday and Saturday is 11.
We be able to stay at 11 for Monday through Saturday, and then 10 o'clock for Sunday? Because, during like, we're actually busier on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the people that are working in the neighborhood. We have volleyball teams that are on the pier, so. they
So then
sit outside.
then that is,
Yeah, but- Excuse me for 1 second. I think we're just discussing the hours for the outdoor cafe, not the inside.
I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
if they, they're the ones that come during the weekend.
The outdoor cafe will be closed earlier than the inside.
Yes, exactly.
What's the window that opens on Greenwich? What is there, when do you normally close that off?
10 o'clock.
Got it.
Yes. Make sure every night it's closed by 10.
So Monday through Thursday, 11 or 10?
So Monday through Thursday, 11, and I think he just agreed to close Friday and Saturday, the outdoor cafe at 11, and then Sunday nights at 10 o'clock.
Is Monday a significant night?
We're closed.
Are you closed on Monday? Okay, so it's Tuesday through.
And we actually close 9 o'clock on Sundays, so it just kind of gives us time to, get up, so indicate.
So you close it, and Tuesday through Thursday,
Thursday, kitchen closes at 11,
the kitchen closes at,
yes, and then
that's
Saturday,
why we're asking for 10.
yes.
Okay.
Well, we would, is there any way that we could do like last seating at 10, and then we would have everybody out by?
Mhm. By 11.
It's just out by.
So,
It's out by.
so you-
No, like last season. They need to go at this hour.
so that means you want it to be 11.
Please. if
Okay.
possible.
That's a question,
Yes.
because the sidewalk ones are year round, right?
Yeah.
Is there any seasonal distinction that's made on these things?
Mm-mm.
Could be.
No, however, like I said, they didn't ask us. There's a lot of things. You know,
Late,
you're right.
later in the winter.
After daylight savings.
You know, if you're bold enough to stay out, 32 or below.
Save the
drink
tables
light
up.
water.
Okay, so, okay, so Sunday is 9. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
It's 11.
And then Friday, Saturday.
So it's all 11.
Okay. I think I missed something because I thought we had said Sundays 10 o'clock.
Well, he said 9.
Yeah, the kitchen closes at 9. The only thing is, like, if they are finishing up at 9:05 and they're still finishing drinks or something, it would be nice to have that time to, let them pay and get the tables inside.
You could just say 10.
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, no.
Then it's
you
consistent
said
with our
9.
staff.
So fine.
It
Just
makes
say
sense
10, and you
for
do
your
what you
staff.
gotta do to make it happen.
That's great.
That's all.
That way it's not like confusing.
So,
I didn't know you were asking.
yeah, no, that's it. Okay. There's a bike around? We have a bike?
Yeah, right at the bottom, the
on the beach.
dark line,
Mm-hmm.
Greenwich and Beach.
Mm.
What shape is it?
Activity going on. I don't have any more questions. Anybody?
Looks great. All the question?
Second?
Second,
Thank you.
Then any objections? No. Okay, except for present it to the other people when we get their input. I mean, it's okay with us now. Who knows?
And thank you again.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Have a good night.
You too. Okay, 90 Washington is a roadway. Okay. Now, this is, I don't understand this at all, because with all that scaffolding and I have no idea. It just looks like there's a whole lot of tables. 6 tables,
Is this Clinton?
6
Yeah.
6 tables with 8 people at each table.
there are picnic tables.
Yes, yeah, you're.
Oh.
6, so it's 48 altogether. Well, how many, and do you have it inside?
Yes, we do.
And that capacity?
60.
62.
Is this,
62?
this the existing space or is this a new space?
It's existing, it's been there. We
You're not
used to
building
have,
a new.
we used to have the road sign. So,
It looks, it's a lot more clear on Google if you look at how it is. So Clinton Hall.
Well, it's still the same pictures. It just looks,
That doesn't make any sense, but this makes sense to me. This one works for me. The street view shows like tables and chairs and not covered boxes or whatever that means.
So the street seating is in that picture on the thing on the left.
mm,
That's the old street seating.
What's going on?
oh, wait a minute, so, that's not giving sense in terms of inside the structure, right? Is where you wanna have these,
Correct.
Six tables. where's the road? I can't, I mean, I see that, but,
That's the road where the tables are on, and that's the curve, where it says curve.
and where's the entrance?
The entrance is right there.
Right where? The entrance to the road,
What's that?
Yeah, right.
that's the entrance to the,
To the Clinton Hall and inside space.
no, to the road.
Whole thing is open.
Where's the entrance?
It's open.
It's open, but with the entrance.
To what? The building?
There's no
No,
wall.
with, there has to be one space where they go in.
Yeah, it's all open.
It's just a roof
Yes.
and there's no front to it. It's
No,
a,
it's closed on the street side only, and the sides. It's closed on 3 sides, not on the curb side.
Okay, there's no, I mean, I have no.
What's the distance?
Yeah,
here?
dots are, you know, it says
That's
dots,
gonna be-
but what's the,
isn't Washington Street narrow there?
Understood.
Like, I know Rectorsbury.
No,
No,
Washington is not.
Okay, let's,
Why?
that's why.
Parking on the left and right side.
Street side.
You have 7.5 in the key and 18 on the. So there is a manhole, oh, so you're measuring it 18. Yeah, no way.
picture is not, doesn't have enough details.
7.5 by 30.
Are you gonna have these? Okay, it's gonna be tables.
That's large.
Oh, so it's tables, not like picnic benches, but it's not gonna be like picnic benches.
It's gonna be picnic.
Oh, it is gonna be.
Yeah, just-
But this picture is really not detailed.
There was a couple questions from other folks on the
Yeah.
board. If you want me to bring them up.
Please.
Concerns about the building above you and the safety of folks in this roadway cafe, because the sidewalk shedding only goes to the sidewalk. And that's, meant to protect people walking on the sidewalk, but it won't extend to you guys, to the people, in the roadbed seating. Does that make sense? So there's a sidewalk shed on Washington, correct? And that's to protect people from debris falling from the building, because the building is not in compliance with the Department of Buildings. And so they have to put that safety shedding there to protect people on the sidewalk. But it's not designed to protect people in roadway dining. So there's concern that the shedding is protecting people walking
Oh,
on
it
the
stops,
sidewalk.
it stops
But
at the
it
curb.
stops there. And they don't actually anticipate people sitting in the road when they make the sidewalk shedding rules. And so those people are potentially exposed, because that building has lots of violations.
You have no cover and you have no cover for the
Facade
roadway?
Violations.
Well, it might not protect the bricks.
I
Right.
think the shedding is by code as far out as it's supposed to be. I don't.
The
think-
width of the sidewalk.
Correct, and then the sidewalk is extra wide, but I don't think, I don't see any scaffolding covering streets. Usually,
And that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point, you know, because you're gonna be in the
Well,
streets.
People get in and out of their car on
Yeah.
the street, people jaywalk constantly, I mean.
people smoking on.
people
Yeah,
walk
but
their
we
dog.
don't,
Yeah, but
It's
then-
covered in the seating area,
But
that's the same
then-
thing I remember from when you had it there before, right? Like, the seating area has like the 3 walls and there's a covering above.
Yeah,
so-
there was a couple.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be like vulnerable. I live in 90 Washington.
And you are who?
Juliana Faith Lyons,
And you are?
a resident of 90W, 90 Washington, so in the same building that Clinton Hall is in.
okay. And you're here to
You're here
speak for
to-
that?
Speak to this?
Not for them, just as a neighbor that lives there and knows the impact
Mm,
of the whole
okay,
thing.
okay, so we'll let them finish.
Yeah, just right.
There's one more question.
Uh-huh.
That's a privately, operated, public space there. Yeah. And, I believe there's an agreement for 20%
Correct,
use.
correct.
Yes. And so there's questions if you were in compliance of that,
Yes, we are.
because there was a comptroller's report from 4 or 5 years ago that said that there was some lack of compliance.
Right now, it's in the process of getting renewed. But we're actually, compliance as far as what, we're using too much space. There's actually less space being used right now because it's 20% of the top, which also includes West Street. So that's where the school, I don't know, if you know that. There was a school there, and so there's an outdoor space there as well. So it's 20% of the whole space.
So what percentage would you say you're using now?
Less than 20.
On the Washington side?
It's cumulative. On the Washington Street side, what we're using now, about 20%.
So overall,
20% of I think the pop is 6,000 or 7,000 square feet in total. 13, 14.
It'd be good to have that in the diagram.
Yeah, so,
The
well, can you
percent.
ask for, more detailed diagram? Mm,
Oh, that's cool.
mhm.
I will share it with you in a moment. And memorize it. Actually, I'm gonna think, is that?
when you go getting it, what?
It's in the
recertified?
process, yes, recertified, yeah. It's recertified.
Mm. Yes,
It's
and
easy.
now this is a diagram, just some lines and some dots and, you know.
Oh, how many bathrooms do you have?
We have 4, 2
So, yeah.
And the capacity,
Yeah.
what's your capacity?
This whole,
Inside 62 and your,
this whole area, right?
outdoor seating?
This whole area is the park.
I didn't know this was supposed to be a public.
How many seats?
I work this every day.
Yeah, but this is where they are.
No, they're here too.
But this is what they.
Where we're talking about,
We're
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Give or take.
What is it?
There are other side of tables.
All sit, you know.
That they got approved already.
I guess. The other side of the, right, Nice tables.
Sit down. How many?
Can I stand up? Can I come there?
Oh, please. That's a lot of, how many, wait, that's,
So these are the tables, and we're looking to put,
these.
no, these aren't, nothing to do with us. These are tables. Oh,
But with
Well, that's
Washington
the-
Street.
But
That's here. That's here on the street, not on Washington.
that's not on here.
No, this is just the internal plan. This here, this is like right,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this is what was, I'm supposed to see. This here
okay.
with all of that. So we get.
But this was the application, they didn't.
Right,
Yeah.
What are the exclusive use tables here?
These grayish things,
All here,
yeah.
all
Yes.
these.
On the Rector Street side?
This
Yes.
is the one that's kind of under an awning, but
Yeah,
outside.
It's all scaffolding.
So this is, it's all outside. And then,
Correct.
and we're not seeing the inside tables, is that correct?
Right here, that's what's,
That's it?
there's the bar.
So you got more outside than you have inside. How many, is this the 50 that you would know? This is the 50 you were talking about?
Yes,
And this is how many here?
78.
Oh,
Ooh,
they have 4 toilets,
they should have more.
more than 4 toilets? Because it's not over. Oh, it's almost
Mhm.
200. Oh, okay.
Is the grid all pops?
Yes, the grid is all this,
Mhm.
and then Washington's, I'm sorry, West Street side. The building goes all the way to West Street. This is the whole,
And this is what you're using?
no,
This,
just, this.
just this?
Just these gray tables. no
Mhm.
tables.
And
So
then,
this puts on
and
the-
then you want to just add some out here.
We
And then-
maintain the whole thing, clean it and maintain it and try to keep the homeless out of there, but, you know. That's, seats right here. This and
What
this.
is this?
Those are public.
It's the pops.
These are benches also around here for the public. So we
And you
maintain.
wanna
the
put
whole-
your thing right here? I'm sorry, how many did you say was over here?
78.
And you're asking for an additional 48?
Correct.
And the 48's the road bed.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
And that's makes them, they're a large venue.
During COVID, we had the whole sidewalk up to here, so it's like, half my, how long was,
COVID, they were giving away everything.
how long was it outdoor?
They were giving
Yeah.
away.
I think it was like close to 9.
80, 90 feet, that's.
We had a lot of tables in there.
Yeah.
You wanna hear from the resident?
Sorry.
Resident.
Hi, can you introduce yourself and tell us why you're here?
Sure. My name's Joanna Faith Millions, and I'm a resident in 90 Washington. I've lived there since 2020. So yeah, I guess during COVID, so I only know of Clinton Hall with that, with the structure that they did have until they, I guess like had to remove it or whatever, just the circumstances with that. It's never been, so I walk that sidewalk every single day, multiple times to get in and out of my building or at my entrance. I think that it's never, I don't even hear it when I'm in my apartment or anything like that. So I don't really, I think there's a good relationship between like the residents and Clinton Hall. I think that more of my concern or like just unsureness is, I remember, of course, you all, I'm sure remember, like there were lots of residents from the migrant shelter. Now we have, of course, the shelter right down the street, right next to that. There were a lot of course, like residents or clients, whatever the word is, that would sit, of course, like by the benches, but then I remember that they would sometimes try to get inside the structure as well. And so I think I remember something about like gates. I don't know if that was
Right,
what was always there, but Do you imagine that something like that would be there again, just because as the weather gets nicer and stuff, I just imagine, the clients at the homeless shelter wanting to use that space similarly was sometimes by not.
I don't think you can close it off like.
No, you don't.
Yeah, there's different buildings.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Not
I
perfect.
mean, otherwise it was like, people were just like vandalizing, it was just turning into a mess and like, it's horrible. Not y'all's fault, I mean, it was the nature of the clientele.
It'd be a little bit more open. They're your neighbors, by the way.
What's that?
They're your neighbors,
Clinton Hall in the shelters?
the shelter.
Yeah, of course, yeah, but yeah, going to clients and trying to use the right words that I'm really trying to make an effort with that. But yeah, I just want to make, just as, we've just seen how like the streets deteriorated with us, so.
I'm not sure I'm understanding the whole part of your concern.
My like hope is that there would be some type of similar like closing or something like that when it's not in use, so that there's not others that end up like using it, like they'll sleep there or something like that, and that can make us feel unsafe when we're walking
Okay.
by and they're like catcalling or asking for money or doing like shooting, like
Okay.
I've seen needles, so like, just to be like very frank about like what they know, like that can like happen around there.
What do they do with other pops? So they don't close them off or anything?
Well, this is different. She's talking about the sidewalk,
I'm just talking about the structure.
the sidewalk, what they're applying for, not the pops.
No.
So people were lingering inside of
Mhm.
the sidewalk structure previously.
Oh, yeah, but you couldn't.
So
No,
they put a
that,
gate on
you
it.
can, well, that's not supposed to be up and open once you close. It's, it's not supposed to be a permanent, open, standing structure.
So we supposed to close it? Because that's what we were doing.
Gates?
It was like a,
It's
like a
not,
accordion.
yeah, it's not supposed to be.
Well, yeah, I mean, previously, what we were doing was, we had the tables flipped up on
Yeah.
top of the benches on top of the table, then we would lock everything up. The cable lock and, combination lock and stuff like
Yeah, that,
that.
that's
Yeah.
up to you, yeah.
Helpful for us to know that would be like continued, just knowing what happened last time.
Yeah, we can lock up the tables and all that stuff, but as long as DOT allows us to put up a gate, we're more than happy to put up a gate.
It sounds like
Permanent though, I mean, we can't put anything permanent, but if you can work out a way to, like you said, put the chairs on top and kind of secure it, basically.
I mean, are you
Because
gonna bring your seating inside at night?
we stack them on top of each other so nobody could use it and chain it up.
But the space is still open, so if you stack them and then it's still.
Still go sit in.
We have these accordion.
They're like a metal.
Right, yeah. Is that allowed? That's.
I don't think, I don't never heard about that. Because even if you had an accordion door, they could get in on the other side, it's
No.
it's not supposed to be enclosed.
You could jump on.
Now it's not.
Now it can't be enclosed, so the accordion door would essentially just be a freestanding door, which doesn't make any sense. Since
Well,
you,
there's
Yeah, because we had plexiglass on the other side, so it was.
yeah, you can't-
there's a delineation between the traffic though and the seating and it's barriers.
but you can't have like it can't be an enclosed space, like a gate wouldn't make sense if there isn't a.
But there's like a waist high barrier.
Oh, yeah, I guess I'm referring to like it looks like it's the accordion thing.
Yes, it was.
It was like a pretty legit looking,
Yeah, so
it
like,
was like that. It used to be like this.
yeah,
Okay.
so you would,
Oh, you might want to share that.
And like, which as a resident, it was helpful when I saw that like helped build trust for me, because I knew that then there would be less
Yeah, I don't know.
chance of some of the characters that were regular
I
stuff.
don't think
To me,
that,
it was uncomfortable.
Do they sit in the other area?
They do, and that's part of what we've also been in
Right.
this room about, so we just don't want to like give them like.
More area.
Additional.
Additional.
Yeah, and I remember that, I think from my like view, from my perspective, it seemed like the gates were just like closed like that, just when the restaurant was closed, so like at night, and it wasn't like they're gating people in. at least during that time, like while they're eating, but just like when the restaurant's closed.
Oh,
That's how I received it. Just like for security, because again, otherwise it's just getting like people are sleeping in it or like doing drugs in it, like very openly and proudly.
wasn't there a naked guy on that street?
Yes.
Okay, got it. I remember
There's people who just
Yeah.
stand and scream.
Yeah, they're not necessarily related to the homeless shelter, because if they're
Right.
sleeping outside, then they obviously are unsheltered. But,
But the homeless shelter went up after that point, so,
but there's still people out
Yeah.
and about.
right, and so it's like vulnerable population that like we want to like give them help, and so like that's what we are trying to do. We're glad that there's a shelter there that can help serve that. But we also know that like as the weather does get nicer, people will want to spend more time outside, and I would just like to know that as a resident, that when I walk by, history doesn't repeat itself. Respectfully, of course, but just statistically, it's.
The space, if you share that, the space won't be nearly as enclosed, so it might not be as inviting. Or lingerers. But do you know anything about the scaffolding situation?
Yes, it's so annoying.
Is it gonna be,
So the
when it's fixed, it might be louder for your apartment, for, this establishment to be there.
yeah, I can't speak to that because I don't know the building structure, sorry, but.
What was it?
That one's been there a long time.
Yeah, but the building just got repossessed by the bank, so the bank, yeah, oh yeah.
I think they're looking up.
So like today, for example, like four of the elevators are supposedly being fixed. Hopefully by the time I go home today, I'll be able to take the elevator, which would be really nice since I don't pay for a walk up. And so with that anyways, they're trying to do like a ton of like actual like structural work before they finish with like cosmetic stuff. But part of that is getting rid of like this rotting scaffolding that's been there forever, and stuff like that. So, so that's just an update for that, like, it's like a work in progress, and DOB and everybody's constantly in the building now. And also like the bank wanting to like, it's like trying to fix it up so that it's sellable to a prospective buyer, but. Yeah, I'm not as close to that, but
Oh, okay. Well,
living there, we're very in tune with
what's happening?
the good and the bad.
Yeah, at least something changed somewhere.
Yes, yeah. It might get worse before it gets better, at least for residents, but
Chairs.
we'll see.
Yeah, what's that?
This is
Is it
an example
For a condo?
from GOT, this is not their
Oh, this is
street, this is not what theirs is gonna look like, but that's an example from
the
GOT.
kind of shed it's gonna be.
Right, that's an example of what it can be.
What was that mock-up? That drawing
Looks,
previously?
It's kind of like a metal lean-to.
The one that you showed me just a second ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same thing.
How? How is that the same thing? That looks like a garden. This
Good
is
plan.
like very made so that you can try to understand what sorts of restrictions there are.
So is that saying that the sides could not be full, like, because in that one, it looked like the sides are totally open, it just looked like a tent.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be.
Well, and the awning has to come down, right?
Yeah.
It's not permanent, so
that looks.
Yeah, you have to be able to take
Yeah,
it down and
that-
store it.
that's not theirs, they just said.
Right, that's not theirs, that's not theirs.
I'm saying that awnings on these things are generally, on the roadway ones are collapsible, right?
Like at night, like every.
So can they collapse at night? That's not really providing any shelter.
Or open, collapsible.
I don't think you have to take it in at night.
No,
You
no,
have to take it in.
isn't it, the ones I've seen so far out and about, they are pieces of canvas on steel cables generally.
Mhm.
They're not providing an incredible amount of shelter, anyway. I'm saying,
Correct.
can they be collapsed at night, in the open position, if you will? At night, it's not, so the structure is not as inviting, it's not inviting as a shelter, a piece of shelter, because it's not sheltering anybody from the elements? Is that amenable, is that,
Oh, is it, you're proposing a stipulation?
I'm asking if it
Mm,
can,
in
and
terms
would
of
be,
how-
I mean,
To help.
to alleviate that
So
concern.
that
What
it's,
type of awning are you interested in having?
what on you people then
We're gonna
have?
cover open
Yeah.
seating,
Yeah.
whatever they allow us to.
Oh, okay.
Right, and what
Would
I'm
you
saying
we're
is,
taking it down so that it's less interesting for lingerers to sleep in?
So I think, I think it's like, at the end of the evening, we would close it up and like allow rains to hit the tables and, whatever that is. So it feels like no one can go there and just hang out there.
If you look at most of the ones that I've seen at least, they don't provide much cover. They provide cover from the sun more than.
Right, just the.
So they'll have, that's why they'll have the umbrellas.
Right, and what I'm saying is, as part of your lockup every night, and you,
Take it off and put it.
I don't think you actually, the ones I've seen, I don't think they even come off. It's it's flat when you have it extended, and then it's collapsible if you want the sunshine out. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a big,
Are you describing an umbrella?
I'm not. I've seen an umbrella before. No, I mean, I mean, everybody needs to get out more. I don't know what to say. Have you seen these?
You know, I really don't get out a lot.
But most of the ones I've seen, and I think this is somewhat standard this time around, is that it is not a permanent rooftop.
Yeah, it can't be permanent.
Right, and so what I'm saying is,
Make it,
as part of.
make it
Yeah,
everyday
that's it.
collapsible.
Hook it onto the hooks.
Mechanism of it. It's that type of idea.
And they just let it, they could let it just fall down. and
It doesn't even,
cover
it's got
everything.
like a cable on each side. The ones I've seen have a cable on each side. And it extends flat, to provide shade, and it collapses.
Like an
inward.
accordion.
Yes, like an
An
accordion.
address for this magical thing would be really great.
It's probably not on Google Maps yet. This is this season.
Oh, I wasn't gonna look it up on Google Maps. I was gonna try to get out more.
Oh, good. Well, they're taking my advice. It's great. There's one on Hudson Street and Leroy, and there's one on Clarkson and Hudson. I don't know. I've seen a couple of them.
All right, I'll stalk the neighborhood.
Okay, great.
You need a dog to walk.
Yeah, I'll lend you a dog.
I've got a
Yeah,
dog.
okay. You want two? I'll lend two. No, but I mean, if it's not providing any shelter, then it should be appealing as a shelter.
Sunshades. I'm gonna call them sunshades.
Okay.
Since,
Oh, like that picture.
who I wanna see. Please share with the group.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
See if I describe
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah, that would be.
And then
Yeah.
if it falls down, it could fall down and hang in the middle.
Sure.
The two ends.
It's not the same.
It feels similar. Look at the,
Just, yeah, and you could let those two
electrical.
at the end, and it could just fall down in the middle.
I've seen a more elegant version of this, but yes.
The elegant.
Yeah, yes. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So
This has the screens.
This is graphics and branding with no graphics and branding.
Flooring, no
This is
flooring.
great. What do I need?
Okay.
Operate the cafe.
I mean, you can put a, word that says maintain security of the space after hours.
Yeah.
And, do what's required to maintain security of the space.
Yeah, so that the representative from the community was concerned about the security of the space, and applicant is going to look into that with DOT in designing.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably hard to prescribe what that would be. Don't really know what, it's kind of a little cat and mouse, so just that you guys should
Well, they were
do
supposed,
what's necessary to maintain security of the space by, so. Doable, whether that's a gate, whether it's taking down the thing, but, maintaining that space after hours.
and at the beginning of this whole process, they were supposed to have set up these sessions where you were supposed to be able to see, different setups with different companies to see what's allowable and what's not. And don't know if you had the opportunity to take advantage of that, but I remember that. And actually I said to myself, I should have gone to look at it to get an idea in terms of what they would allow. But they did, they had a couple of sessions with contractors, and they said, you didn't have to have that, but here's some, look at this, whatever. So I don't know if you didn't, if you could get access to it again, the information, and see.
We want to be to the neighborhood and do something nice so people enjoy.
Yeah, but you also, and that's gonna work for you too, and. So,
Another thing to note, after, like, besides, say, in addition to what I just said as well. When the previous structure was up, I guess like they would repave Washington Street. And so it went around the original structure, so now there's kind of like this like basin, I guess, that like whenever there's water, you guys know how it will just flood. I don't know if there's a way that, I don't know if this is like a U thing or a DOT thing, but somehow like it would be great if that could just be filled before. Any other like structure or something is put there, just to, like match the same level as the rest of the street. Does not, doesn't.
Would not-
like it.
but if it's in the street, then it's gonna affect where they're gonna be, right?
Well, it already, yeah, so because of where the structure was before, when they repaved the street, it went around what that was. Where the structure was, there's kind of like a little like divot for the 80 feet or wherever, wound up like this.
We'll reach out to DOT, maybe they can come in.
We can reach out, yeah,
Should we get
they're aware.
our people in it too?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a thing?
I would not hold my
You
breath.
miss the paving, they did milling and paving there? Did they,
No, you'll see around town where the structures were, they,
Just
no, yeah, no, you know.
There's shadows.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I know they're like, did they mill it? Did they like drag the whole thing and make it all roughed up, or they just
No.
coated it?
Neither.
Oh,
It's just the old roadway.
no, the rest of
When they
it
did it.
that created
I
the
think they-
shadow.
They probably didn't, like,
Yeah, it's like refreshed road. If you mean milling, like when they like jackhammer it.
Milling is like,
they grind it up.
it looks like it's like drag
Yeah, they did,
Yeah.
they did
They-
that.
And it would have been really dusty for a while.
And it was awful.
and
sounds.
really
It's
rough.
like pretty
and-
terrible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are like very regimented, the milling and paving like schedule is very specific and it takes years to get like on it.
Sounds like the bridge.
So if like they missed a spot,
Was it messed around with the entire structure?
yeah.
So it just gets really bad with water and like curtains.
I
Oh.
don't, like off the top of my head, I don't see an easy fix for that, but I mean,
They're so responsive.
I'll bring. You know, Jared knows.
Yeah, very responsive.
That you're gonna have the platform over.
It's gonna be
where
elevated.
The water
Yeah, so it'd be great.
does its thing.
Well, hopefully when they come and they look and they see, you say, look, you gotta fix this, you gotta make it nice.
That's a different division,
Well,
of, say,
um,
department.
Probably say you should have moved it while they were doing it.
But no, they did a lot of that during, like, not the height of the pandemic, but full, when the structures were full on, so.
And did I understand right that this would be like a 30 feet thing? And the last one, am I remembering right, that it's 80 or 90 feet?
Yeah, this was gonna be a lot smaller. It's just one.
Oh, wow.
I got there.
Yeah.
So there would still be the like 60 feet where it could be still like watery. I know that's not your fault. I know it's not your fault.
The shadow will be different.
Yeah, but it like it does settle there, and so I have to like go around the block and get onto the sidewalk to go inside. And obviously that's not your fault. This,
Yeah. But
Yeah.
prior, we had like a pump, and we tried to pump out all the water, so it didn't like create any type of smell or anything like that. So, and we-
do you mean prior, like when the structure was there?
When the structure went, they had to so they-
Yeah.
And then once the structure wasn't there, that's like what I mean, how like now, it's
Yeah.
just because it's like a basin,
Yeah.
that like, obviously you guys didn't pave the road, so I'm not saying that that's your responsibility,
Yeah.
but just bring that
Yeah,
up.
let's follow up.
And then
That's the building manager that takes care of it. He hasn't been into that since,
They don't respond to any of
And then everybody's like.
It's just like we have a structure, we're more than happy to like take care of it, make sure it
Yeah.
doesn't, smell or, because we smell too. It's
Yeah,
not just like.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
That corner
could be
needs
beyond you, we can work.
attention.
And you gave us the number of bathrooms, sorry,
Or,
four,
Or how many seating, total seats then inside and all the outside?
48 and 80, right?
Yes.
And how many inside?
It's
So it's 48, 80, and 62?
Yeah.
And that is.
180. Thank you.
What?
I still his answer. 180, what's the
190.
bathroom thing? How many?
The back
75,
Every seven?
one for every 75.
So that's actually okay, because they've got,
Yeah, they got 4, fine. Okay,
Did you haven't done ours?
no, I'm getting ready, I'm gonna go to that. Okay, Sunday has to be 10. Um, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We like to keep it early during the week, and then if we're gonna be flexible, it'll be on the weekends, but not until 2 AM. Definitely.
Well, I mean, it's ghost town down there anyways, so.
Right, so, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, can we stick with 10?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, and then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday,
What do we like?
well, 11, and then do you get them out by 12?
so that means 12, right?
That's 12.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's, I mean, good for them.
Oh, you, okay.
Out of curiosity well, maybe it's not, I was thinking this, but I guess I will be curious if like, once scaffolding comes down, what that means for like the rest of the, like, the area that has, the tables on the outside, but that might not be a thing for now, but.
I think it's supposed to stay similar with umbrellas.
Oh, umbrellas.
Hmm. There's no, you don't have any music or anything like that.
Oh, do you play outside music? Is there music outside?
Very little.
Like,
It's on the lower.
like very little, meaning the volume.
Like,
Yeah.
Favorite music? Do you ever, I didn't ask the other people, but, well, since this is such a large venue, I'm asking, do you, do anything like buyouts or anything?
Very seldom. It's still late, it's 7, 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay, yeah,
We just.
well, with that, we would just be concerned with the traffic and the black cars and congestion
There's
and.
never been an issue. Like, it's mostly walking or.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
called question?
Second.
Any, recusals, abstentions? Yeah, so we're gonna present this and see how. Yeah, well, the people we get with this. Good luck. Thank you for coming. Yeah, and Zach, if you have any other questions, certainly
Yeah,
get in touch with us.
that'd be awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Also, hi.
Yeah.
Good to- Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of, it's knowledge, but.
Yeah, do about. Yeah,
It's been a while.
Or I'll be the other.
And they're sitting patiently waiting.
I'm sorry I don't have copies. And we will be submitting a roadway, if it didn't get submitted already, obviously that's for a different meeting. But just so you're, actually, let me do this, we'll share these with you now. So you have,
This is for a sidewalk.
this
West
was,
Broadway.
yeah. These will be coming your way. Take a look at that for another time. I don't want to take your time now.
Taking a picture of it.
Yeah, those are for you.
Zach will keep it, I'll have to deal with disappointments.
So I like the way you put the rates. People, most of the time, they don't do that.
Yeah, so
They don't indicate that.
We're great averse.
on the, for Convive Brands, who owns Le Pan Quotidien and Little Beat restaurants throughout the city. So I'm the designer and project manager. So I actually build all these myself. So I try to be as detailed as I can, as you can see.
I have a current picture. Cause went to Whole Foods. I came here and I was like, that looks like a familiar
There
place.
you go. So the rundown, obviously I've learned through the past participants here tonight, we have 74 seats inside. We have, the bathroom, we have 3, but there's an interesting, there's 2 of them are single use. And then one has 2, it has a urinal inside and then it has an actual toilet. So you could have, I mean, not that that's gonna matter because of the occupancy and how many seats we're, requesting, it's not gonna tip the scale, but just so you know.
What even is a urinal? What is it count as? The toilet?
Yeah, I figured I would be as specific as I can with that, and then let you guys make the, not, again, like anything else. Hours of operation, 6:30 in the morning till 7.
Yeah, I get disappointed. Sometimes I walk by there and it's closed and it's like, oh.
Yeah, we have a very aggressive operational leader, and if there's a business need to stay open later, he's gonna do it. So maybe that'll change, but, yeah, this is,
Only 12 seats outside, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, with the umbrellas.
we do have the umbrellas, yeah.
I know.
For added branding. catch your eye.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's further.
The courtyard, it's chambers.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this
Yeah.
is the.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then, as it's.
This is the chambers?
This is
Give the
church.
people what they want.
And
Okay,
this
right.
is.
West Broadway and
Right.
Warren.
Okay.
Thank you. It's around the corner.
How's it feel?
Okay.
I got people walking by, so you can see that there's space.
Enough space, not that- Yeah. Because
When
when you have to walk in the grades, it's hard for a lot of people. People, you know, with canes and walkers and other high heels and dogs and.
Great.
Just walking sometimes.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know if you got my answer, but yeah, we will have servers outside.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not like go to the counter and go outside.
There's an option for that too. It depends on like the business flow that day. But there's like both models are available and the manager will implement one based on, likely if it's a nice brunch, then it'll be completely only available for sit down full service. But like now, get a croissant and then sit outside with the coffee and yeah, the manager again dictates that.
Because
There's a lot of
Second.
space outside.
And just flagging, there's no alcohol here.
No. Yes. They got, that's a whole other animal they gotta deal with.
So we solved the
Solved the
question.
question.
let's quick round. Did the table stay outside overnight?
Yeah, they're very light and foldable, and when you put them, if you could kindly go back. Full transparency, the corner, we utilize that corner entrance, that's a ramp with ADA, and we just store it inside.
Just curious, okay. Did anyone call the
Oh,
question?
yeah. Seconded.
We did all.
Okay, oh,
Yes,
okay.
no, yes, no.
It looks
everything's
great.
good.
Yes, great.
Good.
I will see you soon, I'll see you all soon for this, and then I'll wait that round of questioning. But good, thank you all very much, I know it's time.
Thank you.
Where would you?
Wait, it just,
That's,
I mean,
If you want, yeah.
is this an LPQ or is this?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Cool. That's it.
Did you have a question?
No, I'm just thinking ahead in terms of you're gonna ask for roadhead.
Yeah, that street is interesting, so, I'm sorry if I may.
The bike path.
Right, and so, but this, and then obviously, if you've walked by several times, this is like cordoned off via these. And so we technically have the space, and then we have enough room from the manhole covers here. From my understanding of it, however, when there is a bike lane in between the roadway and the establishment, there's no opportunity to serve alcohol because they wouldn't want any guests getting up to see it. They did, okay. Did they make it so there could be alcohol? Yeah. That's good news.
Tipsy ghosts and bikes. Let's go.
So maybe there will be alcohol.
Maybe there-
Maybe there will be tipsy gusts and bicycles
Uh-huh.
and mopeds and whatever else is on it.
Anything else for me?
Thank you.
Great. Everything.
Have fun.
Okay, you have other things on this agenda, but you don't have people, so I would say.
And you,
I can't vote on the,
I
committee?
just wanted to speak regarding an issue that we're having in the residential building.
Oh, wait, Justine's on one. She has her hand up. Justine, you have something to say?
Hey, I just wanted to be included in the conversation, that's all. I don't think I can vote in this committee though, can I? I don't think I count towards quorum.
Justine,
No.
you always count.
Oh, well,
Number
thank
four.
you, thank you. I know I count, but maybe not towards quorum.
I'm sorry to disappoint, but Le Pen passed.
Oh, no, that's good. I was happy for, that was not talking about that. Thank you.
Your camera's not on, but we see you, Justine.
We didn't have anything in your area that overlapped. So,
oh, I know why. Because we were going to discuss the subcommittee, for the
okay,
housing
well, let's
subcommittee.
close this out. So
We have a gentleman who, right, wants to.
so the ones that we had for outdoor pretty much have to go because we didn't have a quorum. We have to bring them up tomorrow at exec. And then we'll, get the final approval for them, but there's no outstanding issues, no controversial issues.
Yeah,
With any of them.
so nice. Can't wait to get out more.
It's gonna be an interesting summer, that's for sure, for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
So, okay, and with that, I will end that part of the meeting.
Okay.
And let's move on to the next part.
That's it?
So we're gonna bump Greenwich Street benches.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah,
None.
because Johnson. Okay,
And there's no point in voting on that.
because we don't have
We
quorum.
don't have one.
We can't do the thing you're doing at the meeting.
No, because they want a discussion.
Okay, so, the gentleman.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm here from 111 Fulton, it's a residential building on Fulton between Willie and Dutch. There's about 70 apartments.
Okay, and can you tell us your name?
Oh, I'm sorry, Anthony Lopez.
Thank you, Mr.
About
Lopez.
200 people, so you walk into your apartment like this, your entire apartment smells like fried restaurant. There's a Popeyes inside that has this enormous exhaust that just pumps out, fried chicken all day long, and it waves up into everybody's apartments.
Would you just say the address again, please?
111 Fulton.
It's right on the corner, William, right?
From William and Dutch.
Okay.
111 Fulton. And so a lot of the residents, they've done the whole 311 route, they've tried to talk to the owner. It's an ongoing problem, and they say that they're meeting qualification of law, but I don't know what else we can do to try to address this terrible quality of life situation there with all that, those fumes emanating from everybody's apartments every day.
What's the establishment?
And it's the same landlord for your building, is your building a rental?
It's a condo, so it's the same, yeah, they're a commercial tenant.
So,
I mean, Popeyes, they lease from the owner space.
So you get nothing from, what's the other, Chipotle, you don't,
No.
you don't get from, you got,
Mike's.
and Jersey, well, they just opened, but they do Subway
All
sandwiches.
this, anything
But
that.
they just, yeah.
so is that downstairs space a condo space?
Yes, yeah.
So you said, could they lease from the owner of that, so
Commercial
the retail is condo as well?
Wait,
The, I mean, it's a condo, it's a mix, the ground level is commercial and above are all residential.
But is it a commercial condo or does the board of the residential building control that space? I think is the question.
They don't control it as in that they don't have say over what, who the owner leases to. or-
When you say the owner,
Because it's
That's-
a commercial.
yeah, when you say the owner, is that the condo space, is the retail a condo that somebody purchased?
That's what it sounds like.
Yes.
No, you know the answer to that? I'm asking Mr. Lopez.
I'm not clear on the question.
So when you're saying the owner, if it's a condo, then the retail space, I'm asking, was that sold as retail condo space?
The way I understand it, yes, somebody owns that space and then.
And it's not the condo, the building?
Person and they operate Popeyes or whatever they want.
And so you believe that it's a retail condo that's owned? And so the condo building itself, the condo association does not own that space, but it is part of
Correct.
your condo association?
Can you
Okay.
tell your condo association?
Yeah, have you spoken?
Yes.
To fix it?
And they've spoken to the owner, he's talked to the guy who runs Popeyes and there's nothing they can do. It's just.
Did you call 311?
Yes, exactly. That's very important.
Are they getting violations from those 311 calls?
They did in the beginning and then they stopped. They said they were changing the filters, but it's, you know, I think it's the kind of thing where they change the filters at that moment and then 2 days later, $40 later, the filters are clogged and stuff.
But your
Yeah.
bill, like, could you all pay to change where the exhaust is to prevent it from going into your building?
I'm not sure.
Okay, because it sounds like if you're all the owners of the building, it might not be something, it could be something that you could continue to work on internally. You might have to
Okay,
all pay for it.
right.
But it sounds like it could be worth it, and there's 200 of you, so.
Yeah. Okay.
But.
Since that's not the, you had, Chipotle's is on the corner, and then Bear Burger used to be around the corner. A bar, or
Which one?
whatever.
The answer side, right.
Right, so those other two establishments, they didn't have any, because they were cooking,
No.
they don't,
The Popeyes.
so
they
there's
have
no
this-
central.
Yeah, they have a large thing that proves a little bit from the building. It's used out,
Really?
Into the atmosphere and then back into your homes.
goes straight up and.
From the outside the building?
Suggestion. If, so. I suggest if you can get your residents together, get like a sign-on letter together, get it to, us and the council member asking for a meeting with, DEP. DEP's been pretty good, so they would do it.
Do what?
They would have the meeting and then you'd have that, then you'd be able to have like somebody, a rep from DEP, you know, on site, talking about this with you about
Right.
possible solutions.
Okay.
Does anybody have air quality monitors inside of their apartments in the
Yeah,
building?
We're just like
Oh.
inspectors.
Just their nose.
That's what I'm saying, right on the foot.
It's expensive.
Do air quality monitors, because then you would have metrics as to how detrimental it is. Which could be more persuasive. There's purple air monitors, they're about $200 a piece. They're really easy to set up. I have one in my apartment.
Purple.
Yeah, purple air is,
Yeah, Amazon makes one too.
I saw on Amazon.
Like Amazon makes their own.
Oh.
Yeah, I have one of those. things.
So
So,
clear, it's cool because you can, it shares the data with everybody on the Procore map. So like you could look at, so I was, yeah, it's pretty cool. You should,
Yeah.
I feel like everybody should have it inside their apartments because there's a lot of internal pollution that is detrimental to your health. Like when you start cooking, it will
oh no, when I
show you
put
that
perfume on,
your air quality goes down.
my delight changes.
Yeah.
And then I said, what's the matter? And then I realized I put.
You open the door to your bathroom.
Exactly. Yes, I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's like really, it's really interesting information.
Yeah.
What is this?
And then
No, the air monitor.
if you want to save long-term information, you'll have to regularly come on and download
Little one for your.
the CSV files.
Tells me.
But
Where are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we closed?
No, okay, so we're suggesting that he get a interim.
I think Zach's
That's just a
recommendation is,
friendly suggestion,
Okay.
from just a regular person in your community.
I think Zach's suggestion is actionable.
Which is,
You should get a sign-on letter with his residents,
Mhm.
requesting a meeting with DEP and get it to us and the council member. And between us, we can set up a meeting with DEP.
If you,
and if you want, another thing you could do is at our full board meeting, you can come and in the beginning of the meeting, just state what you're saying and say that you're gonna go on record.
Right.
And you'll be on record here that you've been to this meeting, you've been to the board meeting, and these are the issues and you're waiting to hear whatever.
and make it
whatever
concise.
Status, and it builds up your paper trail.
And if you have a couple of neighbors who want to join you, if you come to that community board meeting.
Yeah, just sit.
That would,
I'm pretty short straw, so like.
yeah.
But I mean, to Zach's point though, it's about demonstrating that this is not the complaint of a few,
Yeah.
that there's a consensus about it in the building.
Yeah.
And they'll give you an audience and, they probably have dealt with this in other buildings before the DEP has. And so they'll probably have at least some ideas of some course of action.
Yeah.
Good idea.
It's not even in my apartment, my neighbors, so I'm trying to help them.
Yeah, and if you can get metrics on that and put that in the letter, that could be really powerful.
Thank you for coming to
Yeah.
the meeting.
Thank
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Okay,
Actually, you should leave this information with you.
yeah, do you want my card?
Yeah.
Did you get one? Yeah.
That was hard, and just to again emphasize this water thing.
That.
Yeah.
The pooling's been bad.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for coming.
yeah, thank you for
And sharing
allowing the
that.
community to come in.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zach. Yeah, I think there's also concern for like, because it won't be fully filled, I guess, with the structure as it was before, that it just continue being a breeding ground for like mosquitoes,
Yeah,
critters, and like the smell and disease.
absolutely.
Yeah, so we would just love to see that done before they get it up. I understand there's a lot of powers that be for that, but we would really appreciate some push for that because otherwise it just won't get done, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And similarly, I think to come to the monthly meeting where the whole community board gets together and there's a public session.
In the
Important.
beginning. In the
Yeah.
beginning, where you can get up and introduce yourself and say what your complaint is and what you've done, and you just want to go on record and you would appreciate any feedback or support,
And often there's representatives from the elected's offices that are there as well. And once again, also, if you bring a few people, from your building to,
Yeah.
I think shows, the whole building is infected.
Yeah. Could I do when you mentioned like the public complaints thing in the, like for that, even, I guess you have suggested like to show like what we've done for it so far? Because like, do I have to show like 311 reports for it? Because it's like, there's not.
No, you get up, you got 5 minutes to go, you say it's
It's not high.
It's
Too
not
much.
definitely.
It's
A lot of people come.
Be concise.
Yeah, many different neighborhood, issues and matters, and bring it to the board's attention that
Yeah,
way.
you could even
Yes,
get
yeah,
the,
make sure
the
that you
bar
get on
owners to
record.
come in and say like, yes, this is a problem, we would love for you to fix it.
Yeah, that would be really compelling.
And you can,
Yeah, actually,
Convince them to do
the electeds are there. So if
Right.
you stay for the meeting, you could see who it is and then,
Bug them after.
exactly. Okay, so,
So closing.
All right.
I mean, Jared's already gone.
that's